So basically, aliens, okay?
What? Arm punch for arm punch? Oh shit.
Chowdah heads.
Hey, what's good? You, sir!
Welcome back to another episode of the Chowdah Heads podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Sean.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Terry.
This is episode 3. We have some very awesome things to talk about today. One of the first things I wanted to get their opinions on is their opinions on caffeine tolerance breaks. I am currently doing one right now because I'm currently at the point where, you know, I can drink a coffee or a Monster, Red Bull, whatever, and literally within 35, 40 minutes, like, fall asleep. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's not all right.
Definitely.
So my objective is to stop drinking caffeine for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and try to see if that can help like reset so I can actually drink a coffee and get the benefits of it. So
Definitely.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's a good idea because I'm getting there myself. Like, you know, it's terrible. Like, I'll drink a coffee and then an hour later I'll be ready for bed. That's not good. Not good at all.
Drinking a coffee at like 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah. When you're not supposed to do it anyways. I think maybe that might be a reason, like, you know, why we have such a high tolerance already, because we just drink it all the time. But you're really only supposed to drink it earlier in the day. Because either way, the caffeine will interfere with your sleep. Even if you weren't that tolerant to it, it's still not good for you to be doing it later at night anyway. So
I agree with that.
What inspired you to do that, though? It's just it's been going on for like weeks now, or
just being so tired, especially after paying, you know, $3 for a coffee or an energy drink, and then like within an hour already like being even more tired than I was before. Like, it's just like, I gotta change something. It's just not okay.
Definitely.
But I also think maybe because of my caffeine tolerance, or I guess all of our caffeine addictions, I feel like that's a problem a lot of people in the world have, especially in America.
Definitely, yeah.
Is drinking these energy drinks and coffees, especially like at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, even though you are tired and you're falling asleep. Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely not good for like your sleep schedule or your sleep habits, and that's probably leading you to be even more tired the next day, and then wanting to have even more caffeine, which is just worsening the problem.
I'm curious, Sean, like, I know that you'll do the pre-workout, and are you on one that has like caffeine right now? Because I
actually kind of switched off of the pre-workout itself,
really, completely,
because one, it's a little pricey,
expensive,
you know.
Pre-workout's so nice, oh my god, for a small little, you know, canister of it too.
Yeah, and to be honest, 300 milligrams of caffeine all at once really isn't a healthy amount to take in.
Yeah.
Gets you going.
It does though, really.
To be honest, I kind of got to the point where I was just like double scooping it, so 600 milligrams for a dome on top of a coffee in the morning, you know, probably a Red Bull at lunch.
It's too much.
You're probably pushing like 1,000 milligrams a day.
Seriously, that's a lot of
caffeine.
It's unhealthy.
So I've switched off a pre-workout. I've went to a thing called G Fuel.
Nice.
I've
heard of G Fuel. What is G Fuel?
It's a pretty much like, the way I compare it is like Gatorade almost, but it's got like 150 milligrams of caffeine and vitamins and other essentials in it. It was designed by like gamers who wanted to have like an energy drink without like the Red Bull type side effects,
the hard crash later and all that. Yeah, definitely.
So I've definitely found that's helped a lot, and I've also definitely tried limiting myself on the amount of coffee I drink. Don't do it effectively, but I try.
Without a doubt.
One thing I can tail off of the pre-workout is, I mean, I'm not using it anymore, but you remember I actually ended up switching to a stimulant-free pre-workout. Yeah. So I bought a because most pre-workouts have a lot of caffeine in it.
Yeah.
And it was causing me, like, I was getting energized, but it was causing me to, one, be really dehydrated and, like, kind of get a headache when I was at the gym. So I switched to a stimulant-free, basically caffeine-free pre-workout. So it has other stuff in it, I don't know what exactly, that gives you the energy as an alternative.
Definitely.
And it did work, for me at least. I felt the benefits of it. I didn't get as energized, but I've had like a more cleaner energy. Anthony, I think you tried it, but your caffeine tolerance is so whack that it just didn't work at all on you.
Well, I feel like a big problem for when we were taking the pre-workout that had caffeine in it is we would be fine at the gym, but later on in the night I would find myself waking up like
in the middle of the night,
being up wicked late, and it wasn't good. So when we did switch to that, when we did try it, I tried it about 3 times, I think. It was a lot better, honestly.
So that didn't happen?
it didn't happen at
But
night.
you did
no.
feel better? So you did feel better?
I didn't feel like any different when we were working out, but I didn't have the side effects of staying up wicked late at night.
Compared to normal pre-workouts?
Compared to normal
Let's say
pre-workout.
that's-
Compared to C4, which is what we were taking, which
Which is like
ridiculous.
borderline legal crack.
They're the crack. Yeah.
Now was that the Transparent Labs stimulant-free workout?
No, I just ended up getting, I don't remember what the name of the brand was, but I just got it at GNC or the Vitamin Shop. It wasn't Transparent Labs, but...
Yeah.
So another thing I wanted to talk about next was some updates on the coronavirus, which now is no longer being called that. That's its original name, but it has been officially scientifically changed to COVID-19. Co for corona, VI for virus, D for disease, 19 because it actually originated in 2019. So basically what this video I got from this YouTuber called Dr. Mike, he put an update on it, so shout out to that guy. But there's 73 cases currently in the world right now of COVID-19 and 1,900 deaths, but it only has a lethality or death percentage of 2% right now. But comparing that to Ebola from a while ago, had a 50% lethality rate, MERS had a 30% lethality rate, and SARS has a 10% lethality rate. So sitting at 2%, there really isn't a big reason for us to be freaking out right now. Like everybody is, like,
Stop bugging out.
global pandemic. Like this is the next, like whatever.
Not that
like
serious.
it's really not that serious. Like obviously there's reasons to be like precautious, but as he said be alert, but don't be anxious. Like we have no reason to
Just
be bugging
because
out.
where it
The internet's
started,
blowing it up.
Yeah, just because where it started and the capacity of like all the people who are there's so many, like it just spread so
quickly,
fast.
too.
Yeah.
In a tight knit area like China, whatever, Wuhan, you know.
I think, so I don't think that the coronavirus itself is something to be too concerned about, because you're right, I mean, low lethality rate, and then I also believe that the people that are dying from it, they already have usually compromised
Issues.
immune systems. Yeah,
They're older. Yeah.
Or sick, some kind of, pre-existing condition that's
Really
going to
young.
make them more, same thing, so, I don't think maybe the coronavirus is something to be concerned about, but I think a lot of conversations that have been happening about this is that even though this isn't such a serious virus necessarily, our governments and societies doing a lot to still, combat the spread of it. And I think the thing that's concerning about that is if they're not doing it, then what happens if another virus does come along that is more powerful, that is, deadlier and could affect us a lot more? I mean, is the world ready for something like that? Do you guys
For something actually severe.
Actually serious, because, the coronavirus did spread pretty well. It was a while before countries were shutting down ports, and it's been happening a lot more now. I think I was actually expecting a package from China, and I think most packages from China to the U.S. were getting delayed, which is happening.
I believe they're being sanitized and decontaminated before they come through.
Definitely.
They also delayed production on a few imported items.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, the Animal Crossing Switch, namely. I forget where this, the article originated out of, but it was from some notable place that they think that the WHO, the World Health Organization, isn't ready for a global pandemic.
I think I've seen that too. Yeah.
So
Absolutely not. With what have just recently happened with literally nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone's bugging out. And China was really late with telling us too, so that's also a problem.
Yeah.
So what do you think we do as a people?
The thing is, so we can't think of.
Sit
But
back
we-
and
we can't think
No,
of
watch.
I'm saying
sit back and go to work.
I'm not saying as a people individually, but what do we do as countries? Because we need to have that type of information readily available to everybody if we are to combat a future virus.
That's part of the problem in today's modern world, because we're very connected in today's society, but at our core we still think of ourselves as just kind of solitary countries. But for things like disease and anything that has the chance to impact the world as a whole, society as a whole, the human population as a whole, we gotta get way more ahead of ourselves than we are right now. I think there's a lot of disagreements in the world, things like that, but at the end of the day, if we want humanity to continue on, and again, coronavirus isn't something that we should be too concerned about, but for future events or anything else that might happen, we gotta kind of get the ball rolling on cooperation between societies. Hopefully, maybe we could have an international conversation about this, and if we can get on track with being in agreement with things like, I don't know, they're going to get to a different issue, but global warming and things like that. I think that everyone is in agreement that we should take care of the environment. But how do we work together as countries to do that? I know that some certain societies value it more than others, and I'm sure it's the same thing. I think certain societies value health and, disease control, things like that more than others. I think to those of us that do, we should probably get others on track with that. And I don't know, hopefully that can be a bridge to some more cooperation between countries too. So.
It's a whole different beast of its own, getting everybody to cooperate and get along, and it's its own thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a given that we're probably not going to get every country to cooperate along at one given time. What do we do
what
as?
What do you think it would take, though? I mean, do you think like something like that would be possible to like actually like get, I don't know, humanity on the same basis, at least on one issue like disease? Like I think
I think it's nice to dream.
Yeah, that's fair. No, it's fair. That's a very fair
I think it would take
response,
a lot of communication.
Well,
which I don't think we currently have.
So for societies who are up to date on the issues, who do want to cooperate, what do we do then to prepare ourselves for the future, like the future virus, like because it's evolution that something deadlier is going to come along.
Certainly.
And comes with the possibility of that, a higher lethality rate.
Yeah.
Just better communication. I don't really think there's as a people me, Anthony, you, Terry, we can't do anything, but maybe as higher ups, people in the government, just whatever, disease control, places like that.
Certainly.
It really just comes down to, I guess, better communication. The only way to improve is just to make sure people know everything that they need to know as soon as possible, and then, vaccinate your children. But that's a whole other controversy.
Comments like, don't do that.
Vaccinate your kids.
That's an interesting point you bring up, because like we do tell people the facts already. Like, you got to take care of yourself, you got to take care of your body, but people still don't do that. So what makes you think that? Like,
if people can't take care of themselves,
with the correct information too, how do we still get that across to the people that
That's
just
huge,
don't want to listen?
It's called natural selection. That's all that is.
The problem is, at that point though, you're affecting people that are making the right choice too.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the real. That's
vaccinate
the
your children issue. That's a
the
real
real
issue right now that are affecting millions of people across the world.
Classrooms and schools all over the country.
Somebody made a messed
young
up
children
joke.
at that too. They're not adults that this is normally affecting.
We're seeing school districts being, sued because they're not allowing children into their schools that aren't vaccinated because it's technically supposed to be the parents' choice. Things like that. That's how do you solve it? That kind of issue in society. Cause
that's a health issue though.
Yeah.
That's like. How do we as a people combat that?
People, it is a health issue categorically, but people view it as a issue on belief. Beliefs, issue of if you can trust the government, if you can trust authority figures, if you trust modern medicine at all, things like that. And I don't know. That's the kind of thing that comes down to the human condition, really. How much does the individual want to learn about the world, and does the individual take an interest in protecting both themselves and the rest of the world?
Yeah.
And I think historically, maybe that's not necessarily true, but I don't know, perhaps we can be positive and say that as history has gone on, we are moving into a society that wants to see the individual do better and see society as a whole do better.
Yeah.
Ultimately, my opinion is the parents have 100% full control of the situation.
Yeah.
And, it's all based on, their preference, which is totally fine. But I can't remember one time as a kid ever being like, you know what, I really don't want to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
Obviously, kids don't like to get shots, like it hurts, whatever, it's scary when you're a kid, but never once as a kid was I like, this is stupid, or this isn't actually benefiting me. It's just, that's just what I thought I was supposed to do. My parents, we're taking you to the doctor, you're getting your vaccines, and I'm like,
okay,
this sucks, okay. But, I just thought that's what everybody did. It's a normal part of life. As a kid, I never thought that there were, other kids out in the world not getting vaccinated. I thought everybody did it just because that was the norm. Yeah,
it's interesting seeing things from your perspective. Then it's you get older and you realize people have a way different perspective than you, and it'll never be the same.
It's a messed up world.
Where did that little culture even stem from? Where in the world?
Denial of. Well, I think so with vaccines particularly. The earliest vaccines they made, they just weren't up to snuff. There were certain batches that were made that did get people sick. But that's not even necessarily the things that are in the vaccine itself. That's things like, are you using clean needles? Are you, being sanitary with it?
Well, the thing right now, the issue with people not getting vaccinated is and the whole movement right now that we're experiencing of not vaccinating your kids is because people truly believe that the vaccinations that they're giving the children is causing forms of autism and diseases. That's why there's a whole movement against vaccines. Yeah. But it's not true.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
So we have like CPS and stuff like that. When is it CPS's like, turn to step in and say that's not okay? Because when you're not vaccinating a child, you're not putting your own life at risk, but you're putting another life at risk.
What is the point where a parent's rights to decide what is best for their children cross over to what's best for society as a whole and what's best for other people? When does your choice,
your young child at harm and other parents' young children?
Who's going to argue that legal case? Because I think that in America, at least, we definitely have a system where we want to emphasize individual rights. Which is good. But I do think there has to be limits, and I think that's definitely something where there should be a limit on.
If your child is vaccinated and say Johnny's little kid's not vaccinated, your child's not getting sick. They're vaccinated, so it doesn't matter. Go on, unvaccinated.
I think the thing is with herd immunity though is that it's better if both of them are vaccinated. Because
it's better if they're both vaccinated,
Yeah, because the disease could mutate in the kid that didn't get vaccinated, and then the vaccine that John received is worthless because the virus mutated to something more powerful. Now they're both at risk.
They're both sharing it.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the big thing with herd immunity is that
the
more people that are getting vaccinated, the less chance of a disease getting to another host and mutating. That's really the thing that vaccines as a population is supposed to prevent.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so
that's messed up.
It is.
It's crazy that we're like this far into the future with technology, and we're just still set back by issues like these of people not listening to knowledge.
A little coffee, sneezy, and everyone's freaking out. It's 2020. Where are the flying cars?
Speaking of flying cars, we're moving away from this. There's a new company that wants to get into space travel, and there's been a lot of things in the news about companies that are looking into commercial space travel.
Like SpaceX or even minor companies?
So I think SpaceX...
Well, SpaceX actually just announced that they're launching their first rocket into space in partnership with NASA.
Get your applications in now, boys.
Yeah, they're taking astronauts. March 2nd through the 31st.
Which is all pretty cool. But I think that I'm curious. Like I think you guys would definitely take a trip to space if it was presented to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think that's like a viable vacation type of setting for the future?
I wouldn't say vacation. I'd say it'd be a trip. There is a private company. I'm pretty sure it's the Virgin Mobile guy.
Yeah,
I think he will bring you into space or some orbit of space in the atmosphere for X amount of time in his private little spaceship for like $1 million or something like that.
I think that's like the company that... So there's a stock right now, it's SPCE, that's been going way up, like 2 weeks now, like 300% valuation over less than a year of even existing. And I think the goal of that company is commercial space travel.
Time to invest.
Yeah.
Do I think that's a possibility? Yes. Do I think that's a possibility in our lifetimes? No. I think we're just out of range of that, to be quite honest.
Yeah, which saddens me because honestly, if there's anything I could do, that would be it, to go to space. I think
I'd go to space and I'd go out there and I'd search for the universe where Star Wars exists, man.
God.
I say before we die, we'll be able to take like a trip into space for an hour or two.
I'd say into orbit
for
at least.
I think
not $1 million for some affordable.
We probably can't go to won't be able to go to the moon or Mars, but I think orbiting Earth, that's actually a pretty easy thing to do. I think relatively easy.
We're definitely not going to Mars. It's like a 3-year trip, I think.
Still, I mean, I think there's a woman that's supposed to she's scheduled to spend the rest of her life on Mars.
What?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that went to Mars.
No way.
Yeah. And they're going to spend the rest of their life.
They're going to spend the rest of their life there doing research and stuff.
They had families. They had full families.
And they left them.
Spouses and kids. And
damn, I would have done that.
I mean, that's an interesting thing, though. Would you guys do that? Would you leave your whole lives behind? Because, look, you are advancing humanity. You're going to be doing science. You're going to be doing things that
I'd miss my dog.
Pushing humanity, dude. Yeah.
What if you could take your dog with you? That's a wrap.
Hey, Johnny,
you and Maisie on Mars. That'd be so lit.
She'd be like,
hey, Johnny, how come your dad never comes to soccer games? He's on Mars.
He's on Mars with my unvaccinated mom.
Honestly, when you think about it, it's kind of just like a mind-blowing concept when you think about how like big we think we are, about how tiny we are when there's like so much else out there. Like
So
we're just here
insignificant.
grounded on Earth, and there's just like miles and miles out into space, all this stuff. Have you ever seen the movie Interstellar?
Yeah,
With Matthew
yeah, great
McConaughey.
movie.
After
Yeah.
I watched that movie, it was just like such like a mind trip. I was just like,
Yeah.
it's just like
Blown
the
away.
what ifs, like the possibilities, like other galaxies, other planets with life, like dimensions and planets where like 1 hour there is like 7 years on Earth. Like that
yeah.
whole, it's just mind blowing to me.
that's
It's crazy.
Mm.
So like if I ever had the opportunity to go into space, even just like going into space and looking at Earth and not going anywhere specific, like
Yeah.
that would be so mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Shit's messed up, man.
Imagine if you just got like exiled to the moon, and you were the only person living there for the rest of
If
your
I, if I was like about to
I
die,
wouldn't be surprised if that, in the far future, that's like,
We're just
big
gonna
political
send
like,
war criminals to the moon.
Why
that.
not?
All right, hold
Why don't
on.
we send
So,
trash to the moon?
have you guys ever seen the 100?
I haven't.
Listen, that's the exact thing they did. It didn't work out, so we should
Really?
know.
I'm pretty sure
They
it's
say-
also in Men in Black.
Yeah, so they sent all the prisoners to the moon. And basically what happened is there was a revolt, so they had like guards, like prison guards on the moon, guarding hundreds and hundreds of prisoners.
Created
There was
a
a
moon
revolt, and they ended up going back to Earth, messing things up. I think bad idea. Off of that show, at least, so.
Wow.
So we only leave one spacecraft there, and it can only depart. Like, it has to depart immediately once it gets rid of what it's...
Okay, El Presidente.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I'm gonna
Sean
move
Campbell,
on to
2040.
That's good. That was fun.
Sean Campbell 2040, our next president. When's the
Write it
next
down.
election after 2020? 4 years? 2024?
8 years.
I don't know, after
4 years.
2020, the people are gonna riot, bro.
No, man. 2024, Sean Campbell president. I'm ready.
Uh,
We're all gonna go to space.
He's not even going to be the age requirement. You got to be what, 35?
Do you really?
35, yeah.
35 years old?
Yep.
Damn.
Vote for me in 2040, we're going to space.
I think it would be 2042, actually.
So, what else do we got?
Presidential campaign slogan will be ALMAO.
I'm a
Oh,
2022.
God, Lord.
Running mate, Little Mayo.
Little Mayo. What is your running mate? Your vice president?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say vice president. Young Gravy.
Alright.
All right. So a couple
Young
of days
Gravy,
ago,
Vice President. House, whoa, what's fucking Sarah Huckabee Sanders? House spokesperson or whatever.
No idea.
All right. So,
All right, moving on.
So I'm cutting this out. So a couple days ago. So 2 days ago, Pop Smoke got killed in his home that he was renting in, I think it was Beverly Hills. He tweeted out his address or posted his address on Instagram, and he only had it up for like 15 minutes, and someone came and they killed him.
Yeah.
What's up with that? What do you guys think about
That's
that?
insane,
That's
guys.
crazy.
That's so scary that all it takes
Was
is
it
just your
related in
address.
like gang violence or was it
They
just
say
some
it's related to
person?
gang violence. For y'all who don't know, Pop Smoke is on a Travis Scott and Jack Boys song. He was pretty popular. He was coming up. He wasn't
definitely
that
famous.
famous yet, but famous enough to be known, obviously. No, he was just putting on his story. He put up like a bag or something he had got delivered there, and it had the address on it, but he took it off. But they're saying that somebody, one of his friends or some girl or something, gave the address to like a gang member. So they came and got him. Isn't that crazy?
That's
He's
insane.
only 20 years old, too.
Yeah, he was only
Yeah.
20 years old.
Yeah.
It was it was supposed to just be a robbery, I guess, but that never goes well.
Like, what's the objective of, like, these people killing these rappers?
They just wanted his jewelry. He's got like imagine having $500,000 just on your neck.
I don't think it's the jewelry.
$200,000 on your wrist.
I don't think it's the jewelry.
Well,
I think
this one in
they
particular,
killed him for
just
his
like
jewelry.
X.
Wow.
Just like X.
if this
they
is a
want the,
gang thing, it has nothing to do with jewelry.
They
and
want the money,
cash.
bro.
No, I think it's an intimidation
He's
thing.
not even from LA.
If this is gang activity, well, is it related to gang activity at all?
That's what they're saying it is.
If it's related to gang activity at all, I don't think they care about the chains, the money,
They just want
anything.
them dead?
They just wanted them dead, and they
That's
want to
messed
send
up.
a message that I don't care how big you are,
That's messed
I'm going to
up.
knock you down. Because that's how people have a mentality
That's a
when
messed
you're,
up mentality.
when you're in that kind of socioeconomic mind. An area, it doesn't matter. It's like you want to take down the guy, and I don't know. That's sad. It's very sad, but yeah.
I was going to agree with Sean, like, oh, they probably did it for the clout, but there's no way that, like, somebody would do that for the clout because
gonna
then
get
they
away
would
with
get
it?
known, and then
Yeah.
they're going to get in trouble and go to jail.
See you later.
They want to do it and not get seen. Nobody knows who they are.
I think people have done
So there's a
crazier
different.
things
It's a,
for
there's a
clout.
different motive.
But if we're going off the presumption that it's the shooter for someone, technically they're still They're still the one that put the hit out on Pop Smoke, if you want to go with it, if it's related to gang violence. 'Cause
Yeah, I don't think there was any hit. I think they just saw, like, oh, he's here. Well, like, whatever, let's go get him. You know? Simple.
Yeah.
Could
We're
be.
gonna dive into it, you know?
Just for the money.
Not even for the money, apparently. It's for the hit. Just to kill him.
Just to kill Pop Smoke.
Wow, and on that sad-ass note.
Well, on that sad-ass note, Sean said he had a personal topic he wanted to talk about.
You got a personal topic, Sean?
Like overcoming challenges. I mean, I feel like
A lot of us have been
lately...
challenged lately.
Yeah, I feel like lately it's just been kind of a series of hurdles,
With what? With life? With work?
Just life, work, everywhere. Trying to find, place in the world.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Nobody likes you when you're 23.
That's so true. Yeah.
Good thing I'm 22.
It's my birthday in 8 days, asshole.
Ooh.
Nobody likes you anyway.
Oh, burn.
My coffee.
Yeah, so it's just been I feel like life's been kind of tough lately.
Yeah. What kind of things specifically, that you're comfortable talking with, I guess, that, has really been getting to you, that,
Trying to get stuff together. I mean, we talked in an earlier episode about, having your life together.
Yeah.
But, trying to define what that means right now,
Yeah.
what that's going to mean in a few years, trying to figure out those specifics.
Do you think, one, let me ask, I guess, do you think your life's together as it should be right now? And two, if so, then, I'm sorry, if not, what do you think's holding you back from that?
I feel
or
like
do you think you are making progress towards, getting to where you want to be in life?
I mean, I feel like I've definitely, not stopped making progress to where I want to be, and I'm doing good, but I feel like sometimes maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I could be doing a little bit more. Maybe I could be doing what I'm already doing more efficiently. And, that goes for, work, just being prepared outside of work to tackle, your daily tasks and things that you need to knock off your chore list,
I feel like you shouldn't let that weigh heavily on you, though. Don't put yourself down because you don't think you're doing the most or not doing the most.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
I think it's actually deciding for yourself in your own view what is satisfactory to you. I'm the type of person where nothing I do for myself is actually ever enough. I always have a very challenging mindset to myself. And I think sometimes I'll overwhelm myself with that. And that is something that I've been working on. But I think it's dangerous to, mess around with that because I've also been in places where I know I'm not doing enough. I'm unmotivated to do more. And so I'll be either regressing or not making progress. So it's kind of like, am I moving forward too much? Am I moving backwards? Am I good where I'm at? And it's very, very hard to decide that. You got to find a balance, I guess. But what is that balance?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, because sometimes I feel like when I'm say I'm working a lot and trying to make money for something, prepare myself financially for the future. It's I feel like I'm not doing enough towards the goals I want to do outside of work, I feel like sometimes, often out of work, I'm very unmotivated lately to do certain things,
I've definitely been... So, for example, for me at least, with the gym, I've been so terrible for the past few months. I've just been disappointing myself so bad because I was doing really good last year with fitness and all that. It was definitely where I wanted to be. Now I'm trying to get back into it now, but just looking at all the progress I could have been making in the last few months and then knowing that I haven't made that progress, super, super disappointing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of slowed down with that as of lately to do other things, enjoy life outside the gym, but sometimes I feel like when I'm working a lot, I'm not making progress towards my goals outside of work and making myself happier. But then I take that leisure time to do things that I want to do, and then I'm like, oh crap, I could be doing this towards financial preparation, or I could be working to make myself better, make myself a better worker, be more efficient at the tasks. And like you said, it's a healthy balance, but I don't really know a healthy balance at least, because like you said, you get a challenging mindset. I kind of consider myself the same way.
Yeah.
It's
difficult. And I think when we talk about anxiety coming into play too, I think a little bit of stress and anxiety is good for you because it just keeps you on your toes, keeps you moving forward. But I don't know, it could all be very crippling too, and it's just a very hard balance. I think it's just where we're at in life, at this age, really. It's kind of almost how we're supposed to feel, which sucks. But I also feel like, despite everything, I know that mentally have progressed, in the past years, and mentally I'm moving forward. And I think that's the primary concern for me, and that will always kind of be the primary concern for me, just my mental health, keeping myself sane and good, and making sure that no matter what, at the end of the day, I got myself in my head, I can, rest easy and be happy with who I am, It's hard to maintain that, I think, and I think that's something that does get to me more than anything. Yeah, it's hard right there.
Yeah. My take on it, I'll say that I do feel the way you guys both said. I think everybody gets that way. I do like to say that I like to try to be optimistic most of the time, but it's impossible to be that way 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So obviously, I have my days and moments, and lately it's been sometimes more frequent than not where I do feel this way, unmotivated, I'm being hard on myself excessively when I shouldn't be. But what's important is the ability to be able to recognize that and bounce back from it.
Definitely.
I know we haven't necessarily all figured out the best way to do that yet. Sometimes we get stuck in our funks for a little bit where we're down on ourselves, but I mean, do you guys have any tips on how to get yourself back motivated again?
So lately, I've kind of noticed about myself. So again, I'm a very competitive person. I like to just do what I like to do, and I like to be good at what I do. Something that always helped me in the past when I was in school and things was playing sports. From football to lacrosse, rugby, even coaching it at the Y when I was working at the Y. Just being athletic, yeah, moving and doing stuff like that. So I've taken it upon myself recently to join a men's lacrosse league. And it's something that I've been super excited about, the past few months. It's from ULAX, which is a pretty big league that they run, things from youth to adults, and they do leagues all throughout the year. Really cool stuff, and it'll be really cool events, but I just like being on a team. I like being competitive. I like moving. And in my free time, if I can, hit people, I guess, on the weekends or something.
Let some stress out.
That's a huge, huge stress reliever to me, which is sick. I'm messed up for that.
No, speaking of hitting stuff, something that I've been thinking about doing, but I haven't pulled the trigger on yet, I've done some research, is people have actually recommended to me to take a kickboxing class or even a boxing class.
That'd
One
be sick.
is it's really good cardio, so it's just good health wise.
Yeah.
But you can work on self defense, form, strength and endurance, and also just get your mind off of all the other bull crap going on in your life. So I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but a lot of people have actually recommended it to me, and I'm thinking about doing it.
I think you should definitely do that. That sounds like something you would
just
enjoy.
once a week.
Yeah, that's all you need, really.
Sounds like something you do or you would like.
Enjoy yourself doing it, Yeah.
I'd be interested in one.
Let's go.
You would be interested in taking
I'll
a kickboxing
definitely
class?
watch it.
All right.
Let's
all
sick.
go.
Chowdah heads go boxing.
Chowdah
Coming
heads
to you
go
soon.
boxing.
So, not to interrupt you, what would be your advice to or for when your job's the thing that's weighing down on your mental health and
Quit that shit.
yeah,
I'll
but-
say,
I'm just joking.
I say you have to take a step back from it.
You need to just grab the world by the gonads and just show them what's
Get
up.
down.
but when you do take the step back,
You gotta distract yourself too. Once
and
you
you're
take
not
the step back.
even when you're distracting yourself, when
Yeah.
you go back to that reality and it still sucks, what do you do then?
Remember
you have
what
to-
Gary
when-
Vee said.
I
Enjoy
think-
the process.
I like that. I think when you're taking the step back, take the step back doesn't mean you're not doing anymore. You're forgetting about it.
Yeah.
It means that you have to get out of the immediate situation, take a step back and process what's going on from almost an outside looking in kind of standpoint instead of a 1v1 kind of, I'm in this right now, I got to do this, I have to figure something out. No, you need to take a step back, breathe. Again, I think this is why I like doing activities like lacrosse or sports, whatever for me. That helps me because I'm still thinking about all the stuff that I need to do in my life, when I'm working out or when I'm running, when I'm getting in shape or whatever.
Just take a break from it, though.
Yeah, and it's when really, honestly, when you're just doing something that you enjoy, and that you're just taking your mind off of that, you feel more apt to just take on whatever else you can do. If I know that I'm gonna go out there and run a little bit faster than I did the time before, that'll be helpful to me, and I'll know that I can take that on. It's almost like, if I can take that on, why can't I not take on this other task? It's almost like I'm proving to myself what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess that's a huge thing to me. I guess my own opinion of myself matters a lot to me. And when I have a low opinion of myself, I'm doing bad. When I have a high opinion of myself, I'm doing good. I know that's kind of like a simple formula for me. So I have to do whatever will make me feel good about myself. And I find that in my activities. And I think it'd be useful if everyone had something like that they could turn to, and it could be anything. For some people, it's gaming. For some people, it's cooking even. I actually like cooking too. That's another thing I'll do sometimes.
I want to get better at that.
Yeah. Dude, no, cooking's really fun. I love doing that, and it's definitely a good way to take your mind off things, and then you get to eat it afterwards. So
exactly.
Yeah. But I think it's good to find like your own, like, would you guys think, if there was an activity or something that you guys could turn to, do you guys think you have one in mind, or
I'd go play soccer, but
I
don't have a lot of time for it. But
would you ever want to make time for it? Is there something like you would consider like it?
Even if it was like you literally did it on like
1 day a week,
like Thursday nights, like something random,
at the most convenient time.
Yeah, I gotta get the motivation though. Like,
you're like, I'm gonna.
He's
like,
I'm
gonna need
9
more.
times out of 10, I'm tired.
I'm gonna need another Red Bull.
Shit.
Yeah, but I've like looked into hockey leagues before, and like I've done.
I would
a few,
love to do that.
But
Yeah, I've done
played
indoor
hockey
soccer
in so long.
like an off season.
It's so late into the night that it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Then you're exhausted.
And it's like,
that's
I
the
can't
thing with men's leagues and in general with all sports leagues. It's like once it's just a men's league, it's going to be like inconvenient for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, how do you fit that into your schedule for like people like us who are waking up at like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, starting around that time for work?
Yeah, I'm getting up about 5 a.m. But this is like I have a really good work schedule right now, so it's been really working for me lately, and I'm hoping to keep this exact schedule I have for a long time because it's awesome. I'm out at 10 a.m. on Thursdays, and I get the rest of the day off. I get Friday off, and I have my whole weekend still. So it's almost like I have 4 days out of the week that I can do what I want to do and not focus on the work at least. So it works for me, I think. But I know that during the 3 days that I'm working 12-hour shifts all day, definitely not doing any kind of practice or whatever on those days. So I do think you just need to find whatever works for you. And I think also you got to be responsible with yourself and be like, if this activity is going to make you happy enough, it's worth it. It's worth making time for it. It's almost like a relationship, I guess, in a way, even though not as much experience over here. But it's like, if it's worth it to you, if you do think, there's something that good that'll come out of it, make the time for it, make it work. And that's hard advice. That's almost like kind of just saying, we'll just get over it and do it. But
yeah,
it's kind of like with everything, though.
Yeah, it's got to be like a personal motivator
for
for you, for your own self. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I think on
that note,
you guys want to wrap it up?
All right.
This has been another great episodes of Chowdah Heads Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.